Welcome to A Rare Reality, a podcast powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I'm Christina Janes, Director of Outreach and Content Development for JGA and host of this lovely podcast. And we are joined today by our girl. It's Michelle Fruhschien. She's here today to join us. We're getting an update on your family. We're going to chat about things in life. I'm so happy to see your face.
I know it's been way too long. I miss you so much.
Way too long. I miss you too. And I cannot wait to see you in July.
I know. I'm counting down the days.
Can't wait. It's going to be so fun. How are you? How's life? I know it's busy. How are you?
We're good. We're busy, as you know. You're busy too.
Yeah.
We're doing all the things. I think a lot of people have noticed we're doing this DMI therapy, which has been like amazing and a
Yeah.
breakthrough. It's just like crazy what they can do. And she
I want to
finished.
get into that. I want to like really, yeah.
It is amazing. So we've been doing that and we've been like really working with Haley, and then we have Noah who's a first grader, and I can't believe like this year's almost over.
I
And
know.
yeah, it's
I feel
just
like
really
we
amazing.
blinked and it's now like almost the end of the school year. I'm like,
Yeah.
didn't I
How did
just
that
drop you
happen?
off and cry? Like, didn't like
I know.
how did this happen?
I
For those who have not met you and had the joy of meeting you, tell us a little bit about your family because some don't know about your babies.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Michelle, and my husband Andrew, he's an ambassador. So some people that maybe just joined our wonderful global family,
Yeah.
maybe met him. And then I have my son Noah, who is 6.5. He'll be 7 in June. So I guess I really can't say 6.5 anymore. I
All
think he's
right.
like basically 7, which I'm like, I can't admit, but
I know.
he's getting there. And then our precious Haley, she is 4,
Mhm.
and she is our rare little gem. So, and that's what brought us to our beautiful Jordan's Guardian Angels family.
I
So,
love it.
yeah, we're
I love
just,
it.
yeah, happy to have this family.
You are also like an advocacy queen. Um,
Thank you.
Posting on social and talking about it and keeping it real. And if some of you haven't seen her posts for Mama Bear for Rare, follow her on social media, please, because it's so real and so raw and so also so funny.
Oh,
You are
thank
so
you.
funny.
I
So, I
try.
mean, what was the impetus for starting that? Was it just sort of, let's get this rolling because we need to talk about it?
Yeah, I think that like, when I first joined Jordan's Guardian Angels, like that the day I got the diagnosis, I was like, what do I do now? And
Yeah.
then I just remember waking up to my Facebook group messages blown up with like all this support. And it was just amazing to have this family that like I never knew existed.
Yeah.
And then I felt like, it was a rare disease and it wasn't on the map. And then, kind of like seeing our family grow. And like, I think when Haley was diagnosed, it was under 200. What are we at now? I don't even know the number now. It's
For some 436 or something, maybe more.
crazy. It's just like,
Yeah,
I don't
give
know.
or
And
take some, but
it's just so powerful to see how our community is just growing. And like, I think we consider this a rare disease, but how rare is it really as we're really seeing that science is progressing and, just meeting people online. And I think for me, it was just amazing to have the opportunity to share our experiences because I think like in 2024, it's now okay to share our experiences, whether they're good or bad.
yeah.
And I just remember the moment where I felt so isolated and I was like, I don't want other people to feel that.
Mhm.
And there's another mom in the community who I had spoken to, and I remember she said to me, you're gonna one day be on the other side of it talking to another mom with like a newly diagnosed child and you're gonna be okay. And I was like, there's no way. And now 4 years later, I'm like, I'm okay, and there's days I'm not, but like I think social media has been a really good outlet for me because I'm like you said, I'm keeping it real, and some people are like, wow, I feel the same way. And I just think that connection when, we have this beautiful community, but like we're not neighbors. So to know
Right.
that like I could message someone in, one of my good friends in China, where she's going to sleep, I'm waking up, but like we're talking and it's just a really awesome experience.
It's so incredible to think about too, because
Yeah.
I mean, when would you have most likely in life not had you would not have had a friend in China, you know?
Right.
But I think you've also reached, we have this wonderful community that we've built, but there's also so much more in the rare disease space, and you've managed to reach so many people. I mean, the outreach that you've done and the way that people have related to you is so special. It's really so awesome to watch because you've just done it. And I remember we talked about this in the beginning and you were like, I don't know, and I'm not sure, and I'm not really sure how much I want to put out there, and I'm going to just sort of see how it goes. Well, look what happened. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
I think I remember crying too. I was like, this is
yeah,
a lot and people aren't always kind, but like for all the people that say cruel things, there's like a million times more like
yeah,
positive. And then you just see like around like how it's impacting
yeah.
even just like friends and family, the words they're using and the way that they're interacting with my kids. It's just like that's the power and beauty in advocacy and sharing like the good, the bad,
Yeah.
and the real. Like it's just
And you're
it's making
teaching
an
them
impact
something.
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're making an impact. Absolutely, and you're doing it your way, which is the best.
Yeah.
It's been such a joy to watch. I mean, really. Let's talk about your when Haley was diagnosed. How old was she at diagnosis?
She was 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah, she had just turned 8 months old. Yeah.
So you guys were on the early side.
hmm
How did that all come to fruition?
Um, I'm sure a lot of moms, dads, caregivers can relate, but it was just like a guttural instinct. And I think, it was during COVID. So she wasn't being seen, but like I was watching her every single move and I was like, I need an answer because this is just, I don't remember this with my son and just
Yeah,
the comparison of, I hate saying milestones, but the missed milestones, I really hate that word. But
I know. I
I
know.
think just like making sure I got an answer and then, we went through different diagnoses and she was misdiagnosed. And then we were just so fortunate at 8 months old to have an answer. I really truly feel blessed that we did get it because I know that there's people out there that are still wondering and that's the other
And
thing.
don't know. Yeah.
I think with just like social media, like sometimes people see like another rare disease and they're like, "Oh, maybe I should ask my doctor about that." Like I'm seeing a lot of common threads and I'm seeing a lot of similarities. So I just think like for me that's kind of why I did what I did because maybe there's someone out there that's like, "Oh, hey, maybe, Jordan syndrome is something we should look into."
Yeah. I think absolutely. And the more that we talk about it and the more that you bring it to the surface, I mean, the more people are going to do that. I mean,
Right.
there's work right now being done to hope that we can bring this whole exome sequencing to everybody who would need it. Let's skip the other things and get to the root of this and figure out what we're doing. This should be available to anybody who needs it. I mean,
Right.
thank goodness that it's happening earlier for more families because you're
Yeah.
getting answers a lot quicker. I mean, you're able to move forward.
I mean,
Um,
what would be amazing is like, I just remember when Haley was born, and I don't know if other people have experienced it, I'm sure they have, but I just remember she was in the NICU, and I was like, I just want to do some more testing. Like, and they did. And everything came back fine. She didn't have the typical things that you would look for. And, I just think being a parent, like, there's all these other rare diseases that they're not testing for. So you leave the hospital, like, you're good, like, it's fine. Like, and I think that if that was available, more screening and different
Yeah.
types of tests, like it would just, I think, take a lot of the mystery out.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. As a parent, there's that feeling that you get where you're like, wait a minute.
Right.
And I get it. Like, that's not to say anything adverse to medical professionals. I mean, they see a lot of people every single day, right? But it's difficult when there's something going on.
hmm
How do you make that happen for your child to
Right.
be able to get those questions answered? Because there's clearly, I swear, there's not, there's something there.
Yeah. I mean, like, even thinking when she was born, like, I kept saying, like, I know, I know, I know. And they're like, based on what? And
Yeah.
I could not explain it.
Yeah. That's if you hear my children in the background, you guys, I'm like, that's just them running around. So, it sounds like a dog, but no, it's my 7-year-old. So
Just the real.
I'm like, oh man, here we are. Um, Yeah, I just think it's so interesting just to hear the stories and what you're all there's a common thread here with all of our families who said, I just followed my gut. I just
hmm
knew that there was something going on and I had to keep pushing. And I kept pushing and pushing and pushing until we got our answer. And here we are.
Yep.
But thank goodness for early intervention because early intervention has been incredible for Haley.
Yes. It's been, even before she had a diagnosis, we were getting her physical therapy at like
Yeah.
2 months old, first virtual and then in person. And I just feel like it just helps me as a parent. Like I know what to do when she's not in actual therapy because
Yeah.
I can help her and just she keeps progressing. And it's amazing to see the gains that our children can make.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about the intensive therapy that you've been doing because what you're posting and what she's achieving,
It's incredible.
I mean, it's amazing.
They actually just left my house. These
Yeah.
girls, their company is called Rise Intensive, and they are phenomenal. They are just like beyond. And I mean, everything they explained to me, I'm like, this is so like scientific. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it
Yeah.
works and I love it. But
Yeah.
it's crazy to see how it's just like waking up her body and like this muscle memory. And I came back after, I think we ended about a week ago, and just what she remembered, like, and her body was able to do based on this intensive therapy. It's just amazing as a mom to see.
I mean, you sent me a video and I'll see if we can embed it in here, but of her sitting up on her own,
Yeah.
looking forward, waving, I mean, it's incredible to
Yeah.
see. I mean, truly it brought tears to my eyes. I was like, "Oh my gosh, look at her. Look at her go."
No, I've been talking about her sitting up since she was like 8 months old. Like when
Yeah.
she was diagnosed, I was like, I just want to see her sit up, and to see her do it is just like, I think that when you have a child who, they don't meet those milestones right away, when they do, it's just like celebrated that much more because you've been
Yes.
waiting and waiting, and it's just so amazing.
You celebrate every inch stone, as we've said a million times.
Yes.
You
Inch stone.
celebrate what you can celebrate when you can celebrate it, and it doesn't matter, even if it's a point or it's a wave or and you just celebrate them because
Yeah.
it's happening and they're happening, it's special. It's
It is.
amazing. It's
It's
so
powerful.
cool. Yeah. I mean, I think that parents are gonna watch that and think, like, maybe this is something you guys are in New Jersey, but it's maybe there's something like that in somebody else's town too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like becoming more popular, and I know
Yeah.
that it's like everywhere. It's like popping up more in different places. But it's just incredible to see, just and what our kids can do. Like, there's no limits. It's just they can do it, and it's Haley especially. I know she is very sassy and spicy and determined, and I think a lot of it too is like Haley. She's like, I'm going to do it when I want to do it, and she's 4, so that's pretty typical.
Yeah, she's got it. She's like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
I'm
now I'm
4.
ready. I'm gonna sit up now and show you what I can do. Look at me. Look at
Yeah.
me."
Yeah.
I think it's amazing, and, for our families out there who are listening, wondering, or watching your stories, and they wanna do something like this, you're living proof that it does work, and that it
Mhm.
is working, and it's so promising. There are so many new families coming to our community on a daily basis, and I think that, so many of you who are sharing, who are willing to talk about your story, who are willing to, you know, have these discussions, you're helping them too because you're here now, they're just starting their journey, but you're here. Have you spoken to a lot of new families and or some new families and kind of talked through what you've been through?
Yeah, but it's hard to keep up because I feel like there's so many, and it's so amazing. There's so many new families every day. I'm like, oh wow, another one, another one. And it's just amazing to see our community growing and our family growing, and just seeing that, like, you're not alone, and that's just what I think that I heard when I was, when Haley was first diagnosed, but like to know I actually am not, and our family had so much support. And then at the conference, the first conference we ever attended, and I think that
Yeah,
was that your fourth
it was
conference?
third because this will be fourth.
Third. This will
Yeah,
be the fourth, right?
yeah, you
It
guys were
was
in
just,
New York.
yes, it was incredible. And just like, I remember it was, I had talked to you and so many people virtually, and then meeting you guys, I cried the whole weekend, happy tears. It was just,
You
I can't
poor
wait for
thing.
the summer.
You were put through the ringer that weekend. I was like, "Oh man, somebody get her a tissue and some else." But,
It was, yeah. But it was just so amazing to meet everybody.
yeah.
And one thing I do remember about the conference is Haley threw up. She always threw up. That was her thing.
Yeah.
And she threw up at the conference and nobody flinched. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to clean up. And literally everyone was like, do you need help? Like, it was just, you were with your people, and it was just amazing. So I
Yeah.
am excited for the summer and just to see everyone and meet new families. And I'm really, really like, I'm like packing. I think it's
It's
what?
gonna
That's
be
okay.
huge.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the biggest conference we've ever done.
it's amazing.
It's, it's gonna be packed. There's gonna be so many people, and We're really hoping to make it special and have it be, um, different. And obviously it's an update every time we get together because this research has just gone so quickly, in a good way, and I think it can be overwhelming for new families because it's a lot to take in and it's a lot of faces and then you see the joy of having all of these people around you. But what's
Mhm.
your main takeaway for families who are doing this for the first time?
I think go in, like, know that it will be overwhelming in the best way possible just because I think, like, seeing families that you've talked to and just seeing I think it's just have a lot of tissues because
Yeah.
there will be tears, but, like, in I mean this so genuinely in the best way possible. It was just I left and I felt like I missed everyone. Like, I'm so excited, and I think that it's just gonna be such a good experience for everyone.
Oh, I can't wait. It's really the best. It's such a hard weekend for new families because you're just going through it, but
Mhm.
it's so important
Yes.
and you find your people
Yes. And
and
there's
that's
mom's night out
yes.
and dad's night out, and it's just you get to
Yeah.
connect and let loose a little bit, and it's just such a wonderful experience.
It's going to be so great. I mean, I think that we lose sight sometimes of, as a team, we're like, okay, we're doing this and we're doing that, and we're doing this. And then you get there and you're like, wait a minute, like, let's pause and look around and see what we're all doing because this is so cool. I mean, it's those moments. We watched back some of the video that we shot after the last one and just the hugs and the kids seeing each other and hugging. I mean, it's special.
Incredible. I
And
hope
it's
we're having a dance party again.
oh yeah, don't you worry.
That okay, that for the new families, there was a dance party. I think it was like the first night,
Yeah.
and I was, in it and dancing, but, like,
Yeah.
I do remember, like, taking a step back and looking around, and I was like, "This is so beyond moving," and just, like, it was just a beautiful thing.
It's so special. It's so fantastic. I mean, it's going to be great to have our returning families. It's going to be great. It's just, it's so cool to see this community growing because
Yeah.
I don't know. It's beyond words to see it and enjoy it. So it's going to be great. Let's talk a little bit about the other groups that you've done a lot of outreach with a lot of different extra lucky moms comes to mind and you've done fundraisers. You've done so many things, Michelle. The list is so so long. Along with working full time and doing all these other things. I mean, you're a busy person, but why has it been so important for you to jump in with both feet?
I think that it's been almost like a form of therapy is just, like, being able to connect with, like, Extra Lucky Moms and just, like, all these other organizations, and I know when I'm, like, fundraising, it's for, not only my child, but, like, such a larger scale population of kids in the rare disease world, and I just think that, like, it's just I I hate to say this, but I do feel like it's almost like a calling. Like I really feel like it just gives me happiness and an outlet and joy. And it's, I don't know, in a way, I feel like things align for me and it really has brought me so much like purpose.
Yeah. I think everybody's put here for a purpose. There's some
Mhm.
purpose behind it. You have to figure out what that is and what you're going to be doing and how to kind of tap into that. But man, you have tapped into it. And it's been so awesome to watch you shine and to see the growth and the change. And part of what I know it's overwhelming for families when we ask for fundraising, or we ask for to get involved in some way. It's a lot. And it's, some are like, I don't even know how to have the time to do this. How do you answer that question? How do you say to people, just do it? But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of the fundraisers that I've done have been very they've been, like, easy. Like, I feel like
yeah,
I did a little words project, and that just, like, was such an easy way to collaborate with an established company, and, like, I think that people loved the idea of, like, this cute little bracelet, and,
yeah,
my friends in town, like, they support it. I always see them wearing it out, and it's just, like, a nice reminder of, like, even people not in the Jordans community alone, like, we have support from everywhere, and it's just so amazing to see that, like, the reason why is that we want that. We want other people to acknowledge, like, you're not alone and we're here for you.
absolutely. And I think that there's that connection too to other people that brings so much extra. It's just something about it. But I think what you have tapped into was that, like, you don't have a lot of time and you don't have a lot of, extra to give of yourself sometimes, but you've tapped into the things that work for you, whether that's social media or giving your time to other organizations or doing small fundraisers that interest you. You got to find something that works, I think, for who you are too.
Right. Yeah. I think just like figuring it out, like I always preach to my students like time management. I'm still
Yeah.
working on it, but I just think it's important to figure out, like you said, like what works for you and what your passions are. Like, I love little bracelets and like that just felt natural to me.
Yeah.
Um, some people like to throw the galas and like that is not my mind. I don't work in that way. Like I wish I could. I think
Yeah.
I attempted it, but like I love a gala, I love attending it, but like planning it is
It's
just
hard. Yeah.
hard. But like so many kudos to the people that like are minded like that and can organize and plan. So I think like if you're someone that like, planning isn't your forte, like it just find something that you're passionate about and then like hone into that. And there's just always opportunities everywhere for that.
I think it's so true. And it's good advice. It's such good advice. Before I let you go, because I know that you have a million things happening in that house of yours, and I'm afraid that someone's going to break down the door at my house. So, mhm, isn't it fun? Um, what's your message for our new families who are here, who are learning about you for the first time and learning about our global community? What's your message to them?
I think just knowing like it's okay on some days to not feel like you got this, but like the next day is a brand new day and you're going to get it. You're going to be fine. And it's okay that like you may be grieving like what you expected. But like there's this whole beautiful life that awaits and just embrace it. And when on the days where you're not feeling like confident, reach out to one of us because we all get it and we're all here for you.
You're the best. Go hug that sweet Haley girl. I can't wait to see her in July, and you too.
You too. I cannot
Oh,
wait.
it's gonna be so fun. And thank you for spending some time, because even these 30 minutes of having a conversation, and hopefully something sticks with our families, that they feel like, they're a part of something that's bigger than all of us. So um thank you as always, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much too. I mean, where would
You're
we be
awesome.
without you? So thank you.
Oh, you know what? This team, we love our community. We love you guys so much. So, all right, Michelle, thank you. And for all of you out there who don't follow Michelle, please follow her on Instagram, Mama Bear for Rare. I will tell you, the content will make you smile. So it's awesome. It's so good. And if you haven't listened to our other podcasts, check them out. They're anywhere podcasts are available. Also on our website to watch as videos, jordansguardianangels.org, and on YouTube for our international families for translation services too. So it's all there. Check them out. We're in season 4. How did that happen? All right, you guys, have a good day. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.